Hi darlings, thank you so much for joining me on the Creative Retreat channel today. And today I have a Bible journaling process for you in my Interleaf Bible. And I'm going to be using mostly the faith-filled digitals or the printables that coordinate with this month's kit. I am working on the My Refuge kit, and the first thing I'm doing is cutting out these little swatches of colors that come every month. She has some coordinating patterns that match with the kit, and I love using these in my Bible pages, as you guys already know. So I am taking a look at the Faithful Digitals and the elements I want to use, and after I select those, I'm going to pull out my Bible to start building my page. So here I am going to grab this floral one. It has a beautiful succulent, and it just reminded me of just a beautiful meadow of succulents. And I'm going to be using that towards the bottom of my page. So I wanted to tear the top of that and add it to my page. And then I'm going to be using this beautiful faux washi that came in the Faithful Digitals as well along the bottom, just to add some of that blue. I love creating sceneries with paper. It's one of the things that I love to do with patterned paper, and this is no different. So I'm going to be gluing down that succulent piece to create that meadow, and then under that, the faux washi. I use my Tombow adhesive glue. I just like using liquid glue in my Bible now more than I like using roller adhesive, because I think it will stand the test of time a little bit better. So she also has within these swatches this beautiful bird print, and I thought it was beautiful to add to the sky. So like I said, I'm creating kind of a scenery, and so these birds will be in the sky, especially with that baby blue color, just creating just kind of the image of them being in the sky. So I'm going to glue that to the top and cut off the excess. Okay, so now that I have those pieces laid down, I'm gonna start seeing what pieces I want to add as embellishments. So I always have some extra backing on my desk that I use as cardstock. There's this cute little tag that is in the Faithful Digitals as well. So I'm gonna back that on some cardstock, and then I'm gonna back it off on one of the other swatches of patterned paper that came with the Faithful Digitals. So now I have that tag all cut out. Now I'm going to go through the journaling cards so I can have a place to create my title. You can use these journaling cards for journaling, to create a title. You can use it for prayer journaling. And so you'll see me go through a couple of colors until I pick the ones that I want. And then I grab a hole puncher, I put a hole through that faux tag, or tag, I should say, and then I'm gonna add some fabric, some baby blue fabric that I had in my stash to add some more blue to the page and to make this tag just a little bit more dimensional, just adding more textures to my page. After I lay that out and I know how I want my page, I'm gonna glue down both of those journaling cards. And I just want to say that journaling cards can be used in so many ways, and the way that I'm going to use it here is just to create a big title, and it's going to be sort of cascading, and I love how it turns out in the end. So this is the only part where I'm going to actually use the stamp set, and it's not in the Faithful Digitals, obviously, but you can use any stamps that you have in your stash already. And what I'm gonna do is I stamp out my 4 times. There's 4 different blocks on this journaling card. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to write out or use from the Faithful Digitals those title starters that will write out what God is to me. I love this chapter 18 in Psalms. It is actually a replica of 2nd of Samuel, verse 22. It's many of those verses of this song of praise and thanksgiving of David is actually repeated in Psalms 18. And I just wanted to journal this again because I love how David just outlines what God is to him. And so this is what this page is about for me, outlining that as well. So you see that I'm using those pieces from the Faithful Digital. So it's going to read, my Lord, my help, my refuge, and my fortress. So I cut fortress down so it can fit a little better on the journaling card. I didn't want to cover up the succulent on the right hand side, but I didn't end up liking it, so I end up piecing it together anyways. Here I am cutting out the word refuge from the Faith-Filled Digitals. The Faith-Filled Digitals come with tons of different elements, and the title starters are some of my fave to actually create a big title on my page. And I love this pretty scripty font as well. So now I'm gonna add the word refuge as that third characteristic of what God is to me. And you see that I used the word help from the cardstock stickers because I couldn't find the help that I had cut out before, but I end up finding it and I will replace that as well. I add a label as well from the Faith-Filled Digitals, and there I'm going to add my title, or I'm sorry, my date. And then here we are, I found the word help, so I replaced that. And I just think it looks way better with the white background, all four of them. It looks cohesive. So there's also the word God, which I'm going to use on the left-hand side. And this left journaling card is actually going to be the start of my title. And it's going to kind of cascade down. It'll start from the left and move over to the right. So I wanted to write, God, you are. And I started with this victory stamp. This is a Creative Retreat stamp. And I was thinking that I would use that to continue my title. Unfortunately, this alpha is too big, but that's okay. I then pull out the Zion stamp. I will link these below. And the Zion stamp actually works perfectly in the space that I have left. So I am going to stamp out the word you are, and you're gonna see me build those two words from the right side to the left. You're gonna see me actually drop, there you go, my ink pad on my page. And just so you know, no one's perfect. These things happen. You'll see me later on pull out a white Posca paint pen to kind of go over some of the black splotches. My page, your page, our pages don't need to be perfect. It's more about the heart and the time that we spend in God's presence and what we learn and recording that in our Bibles. And so I'm not too worried about that blotch on the side. There you see me kind of just going over some of those. And again, it doesn't completely fix the issue, but it makes it a little bit better. And that is that. So now I'm going to grab my date stamp and I am going to grab my black ink again. You see me inking everything over to the side now instead of directly on my Bible. And then in that spot, I want to add a little bit more blue. So I'm going to grab a blue heart from the Faith-Filled Digitals and add it to that blank spot on my label. I'm also going to add a fabric bow to the top of my page that I had in my stash that matched perfectly. And off camera, I'll add a brad to the middle of my tag just to hold that in place. And lastly, I will block off the verses that I am focusing on here in chapter 18 of Psalms. If you're new here to the Creative Retreat channel, I hope you consider subscribing. Don't miss any of the other ladies' videos on the creative team. God bless you. Bye.